Park in Suffolk. We are live for the second of our bulletins from this morning's activities. If you were with us an hour ago, you'd have seen us outside when we covered the start of proceedings, the first event away from us at Euston Park itself. We'll just take you through what's happening then, because the last hour or so has seen 3 of the classes start. The first event we saw away at 7 o'clock. You'll have been with us for the start of the 160 kilometre loop, the 160 kilometre event, I should say, the first loop. The 3-star event, the 160 kilometre class, about 40 entries in that class you saw leave us at 7 o'clock. And there they are. That's the scene we saw around an hour or so ago when the first class was away. So 4 classes away from us, and this is the first of the material that we've seen coming in from the loops, and I'll explain what I mean about the various loops in a moment, but that's the 3-star, the 160 kilometre class, the first pictures from out on the loops. And when we talk about the loops, there are actually 5 loops which vary in length from 20 kilometres right up to 38. The 160 kilometres, they went out on the pink loop this morning to start. They then do the white loop, the blue loop, the red loop and the yellow loop, and then their final loop this morning is a rerun of the red. And the 120 kilometre class, they do pink to start again, same as the 160s, pink, white and blue, and then they finish with yellow. And the shortest of the classes, the 1-star, does white to start, white, blue and red, totaling 80 kilometres. Let's have a look then at the second of our classes to start. So the 160 started at 7 o'clock. At 7:30 we had the 120 kilometre class started. The 2-star, let's take a look at the start there. And so this is the scene that we saw at 7:30. The seniors in the 120 kilometre class. And so at 7:30 they were allowed to go through the start gate and start their first 38 kilometre loop. And you see the stunning surroundings of Euston Park and the various estates that surround Euston Park. We have a satellite truck out on the loops this morning, and so we will be getting pictures coming back through, but that's the scene. And a large number of riders in the 120 kilometre, the 2-star class. That was the senior riders that started at 7:30. We then had the young riders, the junior young riders. That's also a 120 kilometre class. They started at 7:45. Let's see if we've got any pictures of the junior class starting at 7:45. Indeed we do. There they are. Just milling around in the start area. And indeed at 7:45 they were allowed to take their start. There they go. And so I think time to bring in our commentator, who's sitting in our commentary box, watching the pictures coming in from the start cameras and also from the loop cameras. Callum Medell is sitting in front of our commentary screens. And Callum, your thoughts so far on what we've seen, the riders leaving Euston Park?
Yeah, very good morning, Mark. What a wonderful morning as well. The sun's just come back out, and obviously we're well underway. We haven't seen much action back here yet, but the 160k class have well through their first course, which is the pink loop, 38 kilometres. They can come back and then do the white loop, the blue, the red, yellow, and then back to the red. Then here are the 80s on shot at the moment. They do 3 loops, which is starting in the white loop. They're the only category not to start on the pink loop. They then do the blue loop, which is 28 kilometres, and then the red loop. Well, like I said, we're well underway with the 3-star category, which there are 40 runners and riders, which is a bumper list. They started at 7 o'clock on the dot. Then we had the 2-star category with 134 riders in, which is a pretty big number. They started at 7:30, and then the 80 have recently just started, as you can see, at 8 o'clock. Right on the dot. So we're well underway here at Euston Park. Not much action to show you so far, bar the start, but there'll be plenty of action throughout the day, and you can see it all here.
Thanks, Callum. So the 160s are underway, the 120s, the 120 juniors are underway, and we've just seen the 80 kilometres start, the 1-star. That's a staggered start, as Callum was mentioning, so they actually have an hour between 8 and 9 o'clock in which to cross the start line, but the 80s are underway. In case you're wondering, by the way, how on earth we follow the action and are able to bring you the leaders, the various classes, let's just take a look at our tracking screen. This is what we're looking at, and you can see there the various blobs are actually a GPS tracking system, and so we're able to follow the riders. It is slightly confusing. If you can see on the right hand side, that's the current position, but of course for both results and also the safety side of things, we are able to see where the horses are. If, for example, a horse hasn't moved for a while, marshals can be sent to check on that horse. There are marshal stewards around the course together with vets and also medics, and so from a safety point of view we can track them, but also Callum, who is sat in front of our screens in the commentary box, has a fighting chance of being able to tell you who's actually leading the various classes at the moment. So that's how we tell you what's happening, and obviously once the horses arrive back here at Euston Park, then they'll go through the drench stage with the water and the ice. That's the spectacular bit where the crews are able to cool down the horses when they come back in from the loops. They then go through into the vet checks, and the figure that you'll be looking for later on is a pulse rate of 64 beats a minute or less. If they don't achieve that, they then go through another cooling phase. They're represented to the vets. They get a second chance to hit that 64 beats a minute vet check. They're also checked for steadiness, for gait, for that sort of thing. And if there's any concern at all over the horse's welfare, then it's withdrawn from the competition there and then. So that's what you'll see later on when the horses get back to the end of the various loops. But we are all underway. The 4 classes we have, the 163-star, the 122-star, the seniors and the juniors, and the 80-kilometre 1-star events now all underway here at Euston Park. So it's all underway. We'll be back with you in just under an hour's time at 9 o'clock UK time. We'll see you then.